How is it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with another episode of Friday Questions and Answers, episode 44. Before I get started, I do want to say I apologize for not coming out with a Pack Open Fridays episode today. I was supposed to get together with some guy, and he was supposed to give me some cards to sell, and I was going to be able to continue the series with that, but I've not been able to do so far. I've not got to set up a time with him yet, and with that being the case, if that doesn't work out, I might have to go ahead and just spend the rest of my coins on one last episode and call it quits, because it's kind of dying out. NCAA football 14 is kind of at its ending stage, so not too many people are interested in it. But I would love to continue it if I could. So if I get together with that guy in the next week or so, I'll keep it going for as many weeks as I can. But it looks like the end is coming soon, and the last episode is going to be a huge pack opening, and that will be that. So before with that over with, please leave a question in the comment section below so you can be featured in next week's episode. I haven't been getting too many questions lately, so I don't know if it's something to do with the new Google comments or anything. But another thing, I apologize for this being so late. Just got done with a run and pretty exhausted. But man, my sleeping schedule has been so screwed up. It seems like I just can't go to sleep. Can't go to sleep at night. I'm enjoying my time off from college, definitely. But I'm actually been trying to eat healthy lately. I mean, I put on all that weight, gaining all that muscle really the past half a year or so. And I want to see if I can get on a diet and try to cut down just a little bit. I mean, I have a super high metabolism, and I was going to try to. I was eating a ton, and I was gaining the weight that I needed, but I wasn't really staying as lean as I wanted, I guess you could say. But I'm like at 10% body fat now, and I want to get a little bit smaller. But I don't know if I can do it much longer. I've been on it the whole week. I mean, same stuff pretty much every day. I mean, it's boring, but let's see how long I can do that. I probably won't last long. I don't think I need to be too worried about it now. But let's get into these questions. There's about, how many did it say? 19. Whoa, there's more than I thought. 19. Do I have a water? Yes, I have a water. I'm still not finished. I still have to do some stuff. I've been working out like 4 times a day, different things. I've started a 30-day ab challenge, a 30-day push-up challenge, and then working out separate things 4 times a week, and then running 3 times a week. And today I had a full slate of things. I've ran, and I've done the ab challenge for the day. I haven't done the push-up challenge or my regular workout. Today I'm doing 200 push-ups for my push-up challenge, and I do that in increments of 25, and I hope to up that a little bit each day, but it goes up by 25 each day that I have to work out the day. Let's get into it. AU, it's Tanya says, if Mr. Smith's peacock lays an egg in Mr. Jones' yard, who owns the egg? Well, it came out of Mr. Smith, so I think it'd have to be Mr. Smith. Sports All Day 09 says, if Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Peyton Manning were thrown to Larry Fitzgerald, would Larry Fitzgerald be the best wide receiver in the league? I think he's definitely one of the best. I mean, you can't really compare somebody just because of their stats. I mean, when you don't have the best quarterback thrown to you, stats are kind of misconceived, I guess. Like you said, if you put Larry Fitzgerald on the team with any 3 of those quarterbacks, he's going to have an amazing stats. But I think even though he's not putting up the best stats, he is still physically, talent-wise, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So put him with one of those quarterbacks, and definitely you have a way better statistical based, or Larry Fitzgerald with a lot better statistics. So yeah, I think he's one of the best wide receivers now. But like you said, that would be the case if you put him with one of those 3 QBs. Brian Manning asked, do you think that Ryan Tannehill is developing into a top QB in the NFL? And where would you rank him among the 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now? I think he's getting better and better. I mean, the crazy thing is he's looking very good now. But you put him when he went and was drafted by the Dolphins and started. At that point, he only had, I'm pretty sure it was less than 25 starts at quarterback in his college career. Maybe, I'm not sure if he played quarterback in high school, but I know he played wide receiver up into his junior or senior year at Texas A&M. He might have just played 1 year at quarterback. I just know it was a ridiculously low amount of games he started at quarterback in college. He goes in the NFL and he's looking very good. So yeah, he's getting steadily progressing. I'm not sure if he's really progressing into I would say a top quarterback just yet. But I mean, you never know with time. He definitely could. But he's looking a lot better than a lot of people thought he would. And if I had to put him right now among the top 32, I would say, man, maybe on the outskirts, just around 10. I'm not sure, just somewhere around the 10 range. But he's definitely looking really solid. And he's getting better and better all the time. And that's something you like to see. You like to see a young quarterback get better each week, a week in, a week out. Can't talk. Buckeye fan 2013 says, do you think the college football playoff could end up a huge mess? Yes, I do. For pretty much two reasons around the same thing. I think if you take the college football playoff, let me make sure she's still recording. I don't even know if I've clicked record. Thank God. If you keep the BCS now and you just keep it how it is, but take the 4 teams from the BCS polls, put them into a playoff, I think that'd be perfectly fine. But so much, how can I put this? So much sketchiness could come in with a committee, especially a committee with current athletic directors on the committee. You have Wisconsin's athletic director, and I can't even remember the others. But instead of putting a whole bunch of different factors that everybody knows really what they are determined by, you put the fate of these 4 teams in a back room where nobody knows what they're discussing inside that room. It could be the most sketchiest things. It could be all about money, not about. It's just pretty much it can become all about money. If there's a 4 and 5 team, say number 4 is a Boise State. They obviously, even though they don't have the best schedule, you look at the team, you know they're so much better than number 5. Number 5 is a Wisconsin. Wisconsin has 2 losses, but somehow they're number 5. Of course, that committee is going to put Wisconsin at number 4 instead of Boise State, just because Wisconsin will make them more money. And how can you say that the athletic director that's currently at Wisconsin is not going to have bias towards Wisconsin? That makes no sense, and I really, I don't hate the playoff. No, I just hate the committee. If they keep the polls, that would be amazing. I mean, I don't think anybody would what everybody disagrees with in the BCS is not about 1 through 4. It's about who should make the national championship. That's always the discussion. And I've liked the BCS. Actually, I like it. I thought it's made college football what it is today. I don't understand why everybody. I mean, what year has there been a team left out? That it's always mid discussion. It's never at the end of the season. There's never been a team that could have made a huge case for a national championship and they got left out. No, it's always pretty much been right. And I think it makes it a lot better if you expand that to 4 teams. There's a lot more discussion. And if you keep it in the BCS, you have a bunch of different things factoring in, not just 12 people in the back room discussing however they want to implement it by. No matter what they tell us, we don't know if they're following those guidelines. Maybe it's all about money. That's what I don't like about it. And by that factor, I think it could be a huge mess. I like the playoff. I just don't like the committee whatsoever. I think it's ridiculous. DJ Hayes says, I meant college playoffs. I don't know what that means. Maybe he asked a question and it got deleted. I don't know. Cormac Shuipi. Man, I can never remember how to say your name, ever. I always start calling you Cormac. I'll stop saying your last name and say Cormac. Have you ever heard of the Red Elephant Club? I have, but I cannot think what it is. It sounds really familiar, but I can't think of what it is. Jackson Bear 1. 4 questions about the Washington Redskins. Why do the Redskins suck so bad this season? Because I don't believe RG3 was healthy at the beginning of the season, and he was playing very bad, and kind of the players around him aren't too great around, aside from Alfred Morris in the backfield. He just doesn't have talent around him, and their defense is horrible. Their secondary especially. The defense is just extremely bad as a whole. Why is RG3 playing so terrible? I think he's just trying to do too much, really. Like I said, I just don't think he's. I mean, when you give everybody else in the NFL 6 months to prepare for the season, and RG3 has to jump in week 1 without any prior full contact preparation. It's going to be tough. And he's played good at times this season, and yes, he's played bad at times, but I think he'll be fine. Give him a full healthy off season, and he'll be fine. He's a really good quarterback, so RG3 I think will be fine. But I think it's a combination of not having talent around him, being rushed into things, and just not being really prepared. Will Mike Shanahan get fired? I don't think so. I don't think he will. I think he'll step down before he got fired. But after bringing this team to the playoffs last season, I think they'll at least give him 1 more year. And if they don't make the playoffs next year, I think he'd get fired. Is RG3 a draft bust? No, that's way too early to say. He played great last season. I believe he led his team to the playoffs, and I think he'll be fine. I think it's just a bad year. He's injured, so I don't think it's way too premature to say draft bust. And even if he never played, well, I mean, it's kind of a little more difficult in his situation with the fact that the Redskins gave up so much for him. But I still think he'll be fine. I don't even come close to considering him a draft bust just yet, because he played great last season, I believe, and led him to the playoffs. Brian Manning. Do you think the Gators could win the SEC East and be back in the national title contention next year? Ooh, with all their players coming back healthy and with Muschamp moving to the spread offense. If not, then how long do you think it'll take them to get back to the top and compete for the championship? Man, I'm not sure what to tell you, because I think under Muschamp the defense will always be solid, but I'm just not sold on his offense being as competitive enough as they need to be to win the SEC East. Jeff Driscoll, I've seen him play the last couple seasons, and especially this year before he got injured, not looking too great. I mean, maybe he'll benefit from playing in a spread offense. Kind of seems like that's what he's meant to be in. And I'm not sold on Muschamp having a successful offense as a head coach just yet. And maybe that'll change with the spread, because we've not seen him under the spread just yet. But I would say 1 year is a little bit too soon, and they are losing some pretty talented players, such as Purefoy on defense, so to the NFL draft. And we don't know however many others will leave, and some are actually transferring too. I know the backup is transferring. I saw that yesterday, and some others, but yeah. And how long? I don't know. I'm not real confident that for Florida fans that Muschamp is the guy. I don't know. I really can't answer that question, because honestly, I don't see it happening under Muschamp. And I think if that's the case, Muschamp doesn't get it done next year. Though I don't think if he doesn't even win the SEC East next year, I think he's gonna be gone. And it all depends who they hire after that, I believe. But who knows? He could come out. He's a good coach. Just if he can get some guy to coach the offense up, you never know what can happen with him. And I'm not sure as of right now. I do not believe they've hired an offensive coordinator yet. I could be wrong. Razorback 1995. What are your thoughts on Tyler Wilson signing with the Titans? To me, it was a great move for his final year at Arkansas. He struggled because of the bad coaching staff. The 2011 season put up big stats. Well, he was cut by he was signed as a free agent by the Raiders, and he was cut, which didn't make any sense to me with the quarterbacks they have on the team. But I'm glad that he signed with the Titans, because I've been a big Tyler Wilson fan. I think he was the toughest quarterback in the SEC coming out. I was really high on him going to the draft. He had a pretty big arm, and he was fairly accurate most of the time. I don't know what happened with him with the Raiders, but it was really surprised me that he didn't get drafted. But he's a young guy, and never know, he has unlimited potential, I think, and I like to see a guy like that get signed with the Titans, because who knows what he can do in the future. I believe Fitzpatrick's going to be gone after this season, and he'll be good to have as a third quarterback. If not, get better and at least go above Rusty Smith, and hopefully we'll take a quarterback in the draft. But if we let loose of Jake Locker and traded him, I wouldn't be disappointed. And if Tyler Wilson, that was the case, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Wilson moved up to number 2 on our depth chart. So I'm happy with the signing. Not242 says, now that Marcus Mariota is staying for his junior season, how good are Oregon's chances of making the college football playoffs next season? Also, do you think Mariota will start as the favorite for the Heisman next year? If not, where should he be ranked? Um, I think Oregon's going to be in the discussion each year. I mean, obviously with Mariota coming back, he is going to be that much better. I think with Adam, they'd still be in the discussion. But it all depends if they can beat Stanford. Stanford loses a ton off of this season's team. So many seniors in the team. Kevin Hogan will be back, but Tyler Gaffney will be gone. So they have a lot of people leaving on Stanford. That's a plus for Oregon with Mariota coming back. Them losing so many players. So I think this could be the year Oregon could beat Stanford. If they win the Pac-12, I think they'll be right back in there, will be in there for the first year of the college football playoff. So I think it could be the year for Oregon. They do have a tough game though with Michigan State early on. But that game, Michigan State's also losing a ton of players. Two of the best linebackers in the country are going to be gone from those two teams. Max Bullock from Michigan State's going to be gone after the Rose Bowl, and Shane Scove off of Stanford is going to be gone too. So they won't have to face any of those two linebackers, and it'll be a good game. But I think they'll be in there. I think they will. I think they'll win the Pac-12 next season. And yes, he was one of the Heisman frontrunners, especially early on. So especially with him coming back and a ton of people leaving, like there's a ridiculous amount of top athletes leaving this season. And he'll be right up there at the if he'll be one of the top, if not the favorite to win the Heisman at the beginning of the season. But it all depends how he plays. At a great X21 says, what do you think of the Cardinals this year and their chances of making the playoffs? It depends on the Cardinals have been playing all right. I think Carson Palmer's been kind of iffy, but solid defense, I believe. But I think that it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs because of what the 49ers and the Seahawks are doing. They're just stuck in they're a decent team, just stuck in a very tough division. And I think the 49ers actually have to lose the next two games for the Cardinals to make the playoffs. I'm not real sure on that, so it's kind of slim, but it all really depends on what the 49ers do, but I still think the Cardinals are a solid team. It's definitely. SC Dipper says, what do you think of the possibility of Chris Johnson leaving Tennessee next season? As a Chris Johnson fan, I want to see him traded because I don't think the Titans use him correctly. I agree. I think he'll be gone, and I won't really be too disappointed because he hasn't really produced that well. He hasn't been consistent since that one season. I forget how many years ago it was, 3 or 4, that he put up the 2,000 yards. Or was it 2,000 yards or near 2,000 yards, somewhere around there. But he just hasn't really been consistent, and we're spending a lot of money on him. So I think give that money away to other people and kind of spread the wealth and fill in some holes that we need to fix. That would be beneficial to the team. Sorry, somebody's talking in the background. It's kind of hard to concentrate. But I don't think he'll get traded. He'll probably not get re-signed and sign with somebody else. But I mean, hey, if he can find another team that'll use him better than the Titans did, and he can revamp his career, good for him. I just don't think he'll get a lot of money from another team, really, especially not what he's getting now. It's not like he's going to re-sign with the Titans. We're not going to re-sign with the Titans because he wants a lot of money and he'll get that somewhere else. It's not going to be that way. Nobody's going to give him a ton of money like he wanted before. DJ Hayes, have you been to Bryant Denny before they installed the upper levels of the north and south end zones? Yes, I went to a ton of Alabama games before the expansion. And when was the expansion? In 2010 or 11? But I went to a lot of games before that. I went to a lot of A-days and a lot of games. I can't even remember when my first Alabama game was. I think I actually went to an A-day game before I went to a game. I think I went to an A-day game in 07 or 08. And then I went to a game that year, and that was my first game I went to. I was like, I think 13 or 14, 12, 13, 14 when I went to my first game. I can't remember. But yeah, I went to a game at Bryant Denny before they installed the upper levels of the end zones. Actually, it was the north end zone. The south had always had an end zone. The north never had an end zone, or vice versa. One of the ways. Was it the north? I think the north didn't have the end zones, the upper end zones, and the south did. and they just expanded to north to do so. That put us over 100,000. My dog's barking. Gosh dang. Bama's Roland says, give us your take on Bama's recruiting class so far and how next season could turn out. It's let me check real quick so I can kind of remember some things. But we actually have missed out on a couple players. We've had some decommits commit to Auburn. We had decommit Hootie Jones, was supposed to be a big time safety we had committed to us. He decommitted. Looks like he's gonna go to either LSU or Ole Miss. We had a commit this week. Well, it wasn't committed to us. His name is C.J. Hampton. He just committed today. He was a big time safety as well. Kind of wasn't too impressive in the Alabama Mississippi All-Star game, but he decommitted from Ole Miss earlier in the week, and he scheduled an official commitment this Friday, and he decommitted from Ole Miss earlier, but he recommitted today. It made no sense. Everybody thought he was going to go to Alabama after he decommitted from Ole Miss. It doesn't make sense to decommit then recommit right after. That was kind of disappointing, but we really have to get a safety, and we got to get some secondary players in this draft class, this signing class, and that'll be big. We don't have too many right now. We're supposedly the front runners for Marlon Humphrey. He is a cornerback from Hoover, who's I think the top cornerback in the country or second cornerback in the country. Very talented, but it's really between Alabama and Florida State right now. And there's some speculation that he wants to do his own thing, and because I can't remember if it was his dad or cousin or brother, somebody plays for Alabama with the last name Humphrey, and it seems like he's tied to Alabama there. He seems to be the favorite. Alabama seems to be the favorite with him, but some people are saying he wants to do his own thing and either go the Jameis Winston route, go to Florida State, which is for Florida State taking our top in-state players. But I think he'll end up rolling with Alabama, and also Leonard Fournette. Kind of regards to your question, how you think things will turn out next season. I think the difference in between Alabama being a 10-2 team and 12-0 team next season is Leonard Fournette. He, I think, is the best running back prospect since Adrian Peterson. He's an absolute beast. Some think he's going to go to LSU. I mean, he's from Louisiana, but it's shown that Nick Saban can pull some players from Louisiana this season. They have Cameron Robinson, the top offensive lineman. I believe he's a top tackle in the country. I know he's from Louisiana. Let me check to see if he's actually rated the top tackle in the country. He's from West Monroe. Yes, he's a top tackle in the country, so he has a strong relationship with Nick Saban. But he's shown they can get top players from Louisiana, so we got Landon Collins just a couple years ago, so this wouldn't be a huge surprise, but it'd be a huge. I mean, I know we're okay at running back, but to pull him, man, that would be sweet. And I don't think we're taking a running back this class. As of right now, we're not. We have some other players. I mean, we have some talented players. We got back DJ Pettaway. He was kicked off the team, but then I believe he wasn't charged as severely as some other people were. But he went to a community college and then recommitted to Alabama. He'll feel a big need at defensive end. We also got another defensive tackle commit, Jaron Reed, from the same college, and he's gonna feel a big need. Every JUCO player we get ends up feeling a big need, and I don't think we take JUCOs unless we actually need them, and they're gonna be talented, aka the Terrence Cody's, etc. But also, Deshaun Hand, the #1 player in the country, he's an absolute beast, and to have him on the defensive line is going to be amazing. One of his good friends is Jabril Peppers, the #1 corner in the country, so we're hoping he can help him swing towards Alabama. But if we can get Deshaun Hand, Leonard Fournette, and Marlon Humphrey, and just them three, and not with the outside possibility of hitting Jabril Peppers, my God, that would be the best recruiting class in history. And we had some decommits, but you never know; it can always just fill up spots for others, but as of right now, we have 3 5-stars, with that being Bo Scarborough, Cameron Robinson, and Deshaun Hand. But some other players I've really been impressed by is Cameron Sims, a wide receiver from Louisiana. Trying to get to the list. Sean Dion Hamilton, he's from Carver. And also like Joshua Castro, he's an offensive lineman, center from St. Paul's. And I want to say I do think David Cornwell is a little bit overrated as a quarterback. People think he's coming in and start his first year, but he has the size, he has the talent. But I think I've seen him play a couple times. He's a little bit overrated, but you never know. You never know what guys can do. But those are 3 of the probably underrated players I say in our class, the ones I just named, not counting David Cornwell, that I think would be good players in the future. I went on a long time for that one. Heavy D317. Should Jim Shorts be fired? Who could replace him? I think so. Lions fans have been kind of the talent they've had, especially in the offensive side of the football, and some pretty good talent in the defensive side of the football as well. I mean, especially the defensive line. I mean, it's really talented. I think they not made the playoffs in how many years? So I think it's time. He's been there long enough and he's had his opportunity. So I think they should move elsewhere. And who should replace him? Who knows, man? It all depends on what route they want to go. Maybe they could hire Lovie Smith, who was fired from the Bears, and that really surprised me last season. But I think any team that could pick up Lovie Smith would be a huge pickup there, because I think he's a great head coach. That don't know why the Bears parted ways with him. Buckeye Fan 2013 says, who starts next year, Del Rio or Bateman? I don't think it comes down to those two guys. There's a bunch of different guys in the mix. Just named David Cornwell, but I don't think he's going to start. Yeah, Blake Sims, Luke Del Rio, Cooper Bateman, Alec Morris. I already said Luke Del Rio. Wait, Luke Del Rio. Hold on. Blake Smith. I can't talk. Blake Sims, Luke Del Rio, Cooper Bateman, Alec Morris, David Cornwell, and Cooper Bateman. Out of those, I think it comes down to two guys, or three really. I named six. I know it's kind of hard. I think it comes down to Blake Smith. I can't talk. Blake Sims. He has the experience. We've seen him in games. So why would they be playing him in games when you can give another guy experience that they believe is going to be a starter? So obviously they're going all out on Blake Sims. So Blake Sims, I believe the most talented out of all of them is Alec Morris. He really reminds me of Ben Roethlisberger. I've said it many times ever since he's been recruited. Alec Morris, I like him, and Luke Del Rio, he's more the leader, I guess more the smarter football IQ, and seems like a leader. So I think it comes down to him too. But if rumors are true, and it does in fact happen, if Jacob Coker from Florida State, the backup, who was supposed to be a great replacement of E.J. Manuel, but along came Jameis Winston, Heisman winner, so nobody could start over him. So he kind of got put down the depth chart at number 2, and he's a great quarterback. They thought he was great, but nobody expected Jameis Winston to be that great. So he's looking to transfer. He's from St. Paul's, Mobile, Alabama. I believe he grew up an Alabama fan, if I'm not mistaken. So he already graduated from Florida State, or he's graduating in the spring. And there's a new rule in the SEC: a player cannot just transfer as a senior and play year 1 or play. You have to have 2 years of eligibility left after you graduated, and he does in football terms. So he'll be able to play 2 years if he transfers right away. So if he transfers to Alabama, I expect him to start right away because he's extremely talented. If he can put on some weight, he's huge, like 6'5". So if he comes, I would expect him to start. Razorback 1995 says, what are you getting for Christmas? I'm getting new workout equipment because my old one broke, and I work out. Well, during school, I work out at our recreational center at our college, and it's one of the best in the Southeast. It's amazing. One of the best in the country, probably at least top 20 in the country. It's amazing. But I usually work out there, but at home, don't really have anything to work out with because our machine's broke, and it's kind of sucks. But I'm getting a new workout machine, I believe, for Christmas. And some weights. I think I'm getting a couple games, and some new clothes, and hopefully some money. Mikey Ryan Terp says, do you play ESPN Streak for the cash? If no, you should start playing it. It's fun. I do want to say something to you, though, Mikey Ryan Terps. Please go check your inbox on YouTube. I sent you a message a while back, and it's very important. So go check your YouTube inbox. And if you've already read that message, just send me a response and tell me if you're not interested or not. So please go check your YouTube inbox. And do I play ESPN Trick for Cash? No, I don't. And I probably should. I just never really looked into it. I've heard about it some, but I've never really looked into playing it. And Daniel Perry, what kind of success do you think the Eagles could have in the playoffs? It's kind of hard to tell. because I mean the Eagles have been, I mean they've been pretty consistent on offense throughout the year. Nick Foles has played pretty good. I mean definitely not turnover prone. As long as you don't turn the football over, you have a chance. I've always said that. But their defense has been playing horrible as of late. So unless they can't fix some things on defense, I'm not sure they can go too far. They can improve on defense. I think they have the offense to go pretty far. But if the defense stays about how it's been playing, I think it would be shortly lived, depending on who they played first, obviously. So that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This video will probably be uploaded later tonight because I had to stop in the middle of this video and cut because somebody's knocking on my door. I hate when that happens. I have a thing on my door that says I'm recording, so nobody interrupts me. But so I can't directly upload this to YouTube because I have to go edit it together. That makes the file size a lot more bigger. Therefore, it'll take me forever to upload this. So I apologize. It's gonna be uploaded late. It's like 8 o'clock now. But I do want to say thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a question in the comment section below, and you'll be answered next week in episode 45. But until then, please leave a like. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/STRTR. And as always, roll tide, go Sox, no Titans to you. Until next Friday, guys. Have a great week. Oh, and have a great Merry Christmas, because it'll be Christmas will be over by next Friday. So have a Merry Christmas, guys, and peace.